welcome to the Personalities of the Tarot podcast. I'm Elizabeth Seer, author of Personalities of the Tarot, a guide to know thyself through astrology and tarot. I'm working on a revised and expanded second edition of that birthday-style book, so it's currently unavailable. But if you're interested in learning to read tarot for your own self-improvement and empowerment, my book, Ex Libris Tarot, the revised and expanded second edition, is now available on Amazon for only $11.99 plus tax and shipping. Personalities of the Tarot, the book, should be available within the next several months, so keep checking back for updates. Speaking of that book, in Mercury retrograde, I happened to run a Google search for my books a couple of weeks ago, and I found they were being sold on a print-on-demand website I had used and canceled 8 years ago. I had to communicate, which doesn't always go well during Mercury retrograde, that they needed to cease and desist selling what is not theirs. They gave me a lot of runaround and asked a lot of questions, and I ultimately became annoyed, threatening legal action. Not something I take lightly. They finally told me they would take it down and pay out around $50 in royalties. So hopefully that will come through now that Mercury is moving direct again as of November 3rd, Election Day. Of course, Mercury's motion changes always bring the most chaos at the very beginning and the end, plus 5 days or so. So we're just now barely probably coming out of the woods or actually, it'll probably still be a few more days. Today is November 5th. So we probably still have through November 7th until we see things kind of straighten up again. I'm not expecting anything to straighten out this week, but it would be nice if it did. Speaking of planets going forward again, Mars will also turn direct this month, and I'll hopefully get some energy back. That happens on Friday, November 13th. I need Mars in my corner to move forward with projects and ideas. Plus, I just need my chi. I've been trying to work on my lower chakras, but holy cow, with Mars retrograde, my energy is just low. And that's why I'm looking forward to this period from November 3rd to the 11th that we're about to dig into. It's Six of Cups time, mid-Scorpio, November 3rd to the 11th. It's my daughter Aspen's birthday time, and it's a time of joy and celebrating life. If you know someone born during these dates, they often have a childlike energy throughout their life, well into adulthood, a sense of naivete. Although childlike, they may not have kids of their own, but they will enjoy interaction with children and others with childlike qualities. However, they need to be wary of escapism when things get difficult. Sometimes they dream of a time when everything was innocent and everyone was happy. If you're born during this time of the second decan of Scorpio between November 3rd and the 11th, keep in mind that your memories are sacred and they should be enjoyed without being employed for diversionary reasons. The darker side of this energy is being sneaky, cynical, or bitter, likely due to earlier rejection or abandonment issues. These things often manifest after childhood trauma, so take care of your core and those lower 3 chakras, especially your sacral chakra where we tend to shove our childhood, gender-based, and sexual traumas. For those of all signs, this period is the band-aid we need, triumphing and healing after the grief and sadness of the 5 of Cups at the end of October. It's a time to be playful and inspired. Find joy in the world. This card also brings about nostalgia, recalling things from our own childhood, or even connecting with those we grew up with, such as long-lost friends, cousins, etc. I like to explain the energy of this card in this time period like this. My granddaughter Poet, when she was 3 years old, the whole family was gathered around at my parents' house. We were all gathered around the tree, and everybody started opening gifts. Every single gift that 3-year-old, she was 3 at the time, she's 10 now, but every single gift that 3-year-old opened was absolutely amazing to her. It could have been a boring pair of socks, but every gift she opened, it was, oh, look at this, and this just joy and surprise. That's what the Six of Cups is all about, and that's what this period can be like. Look at the outside world and see those different shades of green. It's not just one color green, it's different shades of green. Look at things differently. Look at the world as a child would, with sense and wonder, because as adults, we tend to forget how to do that. So don't forget to see the world as a child does, with wonder, curiosity, and unadulterated joy. It's famous birthday time. Here's a random and totally disordered list of those mid-born Scorpios with birthdays from November 3rd to the 11th. My daughter, Aspen Brienne. She's an up-and-coming comedian, so look her up if you're so inclined. Art Garfunkel, Sally Field, Colin Kaepernick, Anna Wintour, Ralph Macchio. Oh, how I adored him back in the 80s. Sam Rockwell, Emma Stone, Tandy Newton, Ethan Hawke, Rebecca Romaine, Marie Curie, Albert Camus, Leon Trotsky, Adam Devine, Gordon Ramsay, Parker Posey, Hedy Lamarr. She was beautiful and brilliant. Carl Sagan, Taron Egerton, Martin Luther, Neil Gaiman, Diplo, Leonardo DiCaprio, Demi Moore, Stanley Tucci, Matthew McConaughey, and Kurt Vonnegut. Okay, so we have pesky planets moving forward again over the next couple of weeks. And a couple of days ago, we had Election Day here in the United States. Here's my 2 cents on that. A leader can only lead if people look to follow. That means that if there is a leader with less than admirable qualities, we needn't follow his or her lead. We can lead ourselves to something more admirable, something more acceptable and helpful as a society. This might include wearing masks, even when you're not forced to or asked to. This could include helping others in need who look or act differently than you. This time of the Six of Cups and mid-Scorpio is an opportunity to act with love and faith that you're doing everything you can do to make the world, at least within your sphere of influence, a better place. And we have to remember, it's not just my world or your world. It's our world that we share. And in that, there is a responsibility to care for one another. We are the stewards of this planet. And as such, we must step up and be the best people we can be. Also, we're wrapping up the time of the Knight of Cups on November 11th. And November 12th will see the King of Wands reign for his month. We're also still moving through the time of death, change, transformation, leaving one way behind as we transform, searching for a new and better way to live. In closing, I'm creating my Patreon account and should have it live within the next week or so. Patreon is a platform which allows people to offer regular monthly support for people like me, who offer creative and inspirational work to the world. There will be options for $3 a month, all the way up to $99 a month. My offerings will include things like weekly astrology readings, where I read the cards every week for each of the 12 signs. I'll also offer other goodies to include one-on-one readings and even daily cards for individuals. You'll be able to find me on patreon.com/Elizabeth Seer. In the meantime, if you like this podcast and wish to support my work, please feel free to head over to my website, elizabethseer.com. That's Seer, S-E-E-R. And you can book your appointment for a live reading or purchase a recorded reading through my shop. You can also purchase my book and listen to my podcast there. Every little bit helps as I try to make my work more valuable to all of us. And I thank you for thinking of me. Our mantra for the next 9 days or so, well, at least through the 11th of November, is I find joy in my everyday life. Let me repeat that. I find joy in my everyday life. It's a reminder to live in gratitude for what you do have instead of feeling horrible about what you don't have. You've been listening to Elizabeth Seer, and as always, I'm grateful for this time with you.